Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good day to everyone. We are the group 1 and we are here to tackle about infancy and toddlerhood development. So what is infant means? So infant is derived from the Latin word infans, which means is unable to speak. Infant is the dynamic, ever-changing being who undergoes an orderly and predictable sequence of neurodevelopment and physical growth. Thus, many define infancy as the period from birth to approximately 2 years of age when language to flourish, the baby or the child begin to walk, crawl, laugh, and even to speak. The first word, the basic word like mama and papa, ate, kuya, and many more. The sequence is influenced continuously by intrinsic and extrinsic forces that produce individual variation and make each infant's developmental path view. Intrinsic is something natural or inherited by the child, including the physical characteristics, states of wellness and illness. While the extrinsic influences during infancy originated primarily from the family, like the personality or style on how parents treat or care their baby or the child, the family economic status, and the cultural which the infant is born. Then toddlerhood is a young child who is learning to walk or toddle. This is the second stage of development after infancy. I generally refers to children between the age of 1 to 2 years. During this stage, children not only learn to walk steadily but also develop other motor skills.
Changes in the first year of life are numerous and dramatic. So first one is physical growth. So physical growth, in terms of physical growth infants, refers to the increase in height and weight and other body change that happen as kids mature. So sa madaling salita, ito na yung part na nadadagdagan na yung height nila and then yung weight nila. And also nandito na rin yung part na nagkakaroon na sila ng, like, tinutubuan na sila ng hair, and especially yung ngipin nila is unti-unti na ring nagsisilabasan. So the second one is maturation of body system. So child length is 50% greater than it was at birth and will progress gradually. This will be approach of cephalocodal trend and proximodestal trend. So, cephalocodal means is an organized pattern system, growth, and water control that proceed from head to tail. So, ang proximodestal trend naman is, on other hand, is a pattern of physical growth and motor control that proceeds from the center of the body outward. So last one is gross and fine motor skills. So as well as fine motor skills start developing by 4 months. Grasping of toys, transferring of object, and insert grabs are some example of motor skills that develop with the gross motor skills. So kapag 4 months na yung bata, dito na pumapasok yung marunong na silang humawak ng toys and like maglaro ng sarili-sarili nilang toys. So, itong physical growth, maturation of body system, and gross and fine motor skills, ito yung progress in an ordinary and sequential function. So, infants also exhibit vast amounts of learning in the psychosocial and cognitive language and communication and social or emotional domains. Also, indicate growth and development are indicative of health in the infant of young child.
As children grow from infants to toddlers, they undergo several major rapid developmental changes that support their increasing independence. This activity of child needs crawling, walking, and running. Study says that most of the babies started to crawl somewhere between 6 to 10 months of age. Walking starts between 8 to 18 months of age, and the running usually occurs between 18 to 24 months. However, there is a huge range of normal, as doctor says. This newfound mobility allows children to explore within increasing independence. Those are the studies of experts, but some instances depends on their parents' patience to teach their children to do such things.
In the first year, babies learn to focus their vision, reach out and explore the things that are around them. Cognitive or brain development means the learning process of memory, language, thinking, and reasoning. Language is more than making sound bubble or saying mama or dada.
Comes to the gross development of the infant and toddlers, they are increase in size of organs and body. There are multiplication of cells, and it can and the quantitative changes and progress measures are also developing. Infant newborn development cognitive, the obvious way your infant learns to sing, recall, visualize, accumulate, and integrate data, address things, and establish judgment, is referred to as cognitive development. It may appear to be a lot, but it all comes progressively. In fact, during this stage, will most probably notice difference of object with the finger and thumb while grabbing for a large piece with both hands language. Since a newborn brain continued to develop, so does his or her ability to interact, to understand, and generate spoken words. Infant learn language by absorbing information using both hearing and sight senses, and then understanding the factor associated with those sensory experiences. Physical, such as a fine motor skills like holding a spoon, insert grass in grass. Motor skills like head, control sitting, and walking. Social, as infants grow up to their communications become progressively more complex. Experts believe that between the ages of 3 and 6 months, infants begin to utilize information from people, appearance, and voice. Babies are born as social beings. They learn to engage with and gather information from their caretaker from the time they are born. Even babies can imitate facial expressions, displaying a comprehension of how another behaviors are related to their own. Thank you. Your reporter, Elia Espacan, BSP2A, Group 1.
So how should a baby grow? Children may be able to start crawling on his or her sixth month of age, but others don't even be able to roll over from their tummy yet. The development stages of every child are different, but theoretically, babies will follow this milestone through their first year of life at their own pace. 1-month-old baby notice faces, sees bold pattern, especially in black and white. Recognize the sound of your voice, start to coo and make sound behind a simple cry. Bring his hands with range of his eyes and mouth, move head side to side when lying his stomach. In 2-month-old baby, start to recognize people at the distance and begins to follow things with eyes, briefly calls herself. May bring her hands to her mouth to self-calm, so begins to get pushy and acts bored if the activity doesn't change. Holds her head up, bring to push up when lying on the tummy, makes another movement with her arms and legs.
So, in 3 months old baby can distinguish your faces from others, start to have different cries for different needs like hunger, diaper change, pain, open, shuts hands, turn his head away to express boredom, swipes at dangling objects, follow moving object, his eyes, turn his head in the direction of sounds, enjoying with other people, and may cry when the playing stops. So, and 4-month-old baby start to giggle and laugh, copies facial expressions, reaches for a toy with one hand, holds her head steady and supported, pushes up onto her elbows when she's lying on her tummy. And 5-month-old baby roll over from tummy to back, explores toys by putting them in his mouth. Bubbles love to look at himself in a mirror and entertain himself of short periods of time. And 6-month-old baby start creeping along the floor, starts sitting unaided, passes things from one hand to other, start to understand simple words, responds to her name. When 7-month-old baby enjoy dropping things on the floor, plays a simple thing like peekaboo, begging to respond to no, finds partially hidden object. An 8-month-old baby begins crawling, stands while holding something, develops a higher pincer grasp. And 9-month-old baby may be wary of strangers and clings to familiar people, have favorite toys, makes a lot of different sounds like mama and baba, copies sounds and gestures of others, uses finger to put so things. 10-month-old baby explores things in different ways like shaking, banging, and throwing. Pulls to stand, shuffling along while holding onto furniture. Gets into a sitting position without help, feeding herself. And then 11-month-old baby understands object permanence, crawls up the upstairs while supervised, makes sounds with changes in the tone, sounds like more like speech, develops separation anxiety. And 12-month-old baby responds to simple spoken requests and direction, uses basic gesture like shaking his head is no, or waving is bye-bye, and says mama and dada, and explanation like uh-oh, and then look at the right image or object when it's named. Starts using things correctly, for example, drinks from a cup or brushes his hair, may stand alone, may take few steps without holding on. So that's all for the how baby grow.